Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Chloe. I make videos on my life as a law student and everything that goes with that. Today's video is something I'm so excited to film. It's actually something one of my tutors asked me to film, which was a really big deal for me because I realised that like people actually do watch my channel, which is really strange. It's basically about networking, what that is, why it's important, and it's going to be based around an event that happens every year at my university, which is the alumni question time. I'm pretty sure you'll probably have something similar at your university, whichever one you go to. It's basically where students who have studied at your university and have done the same course come back and answer your questions. It's a great opportunity to meet people in the industry. Luckily enough, the tutor who asked me to film this has set me up a few interviews with the panelists at tonight's event. So I'm going to be speaking to them on why networking is important, why this particular event is important to go to, and then I'm also going to talk through a few networking tips as well, because this is a networking event, and if you don't know what that means, basically when you study a law degree, it's so important to know people in the industry who can tell you things that you didn't know before. They can give you an insider's view. So this is what this event is, and it's super important. You can gain so much from going to these events. People gain work experience, people gain knowledge that you just wouldn't get from anyone else. The next thing that I wanted to mention is dress code at networking events. So definitely if you are attending any type of networking event, wear smart clothing, because you don't want to be the person who dresses in jeans and a top and everyone else wearing a suit. And I'd much rather be the only person in a suit than the only person in a pair of jeans, because if you're in a suit you're going to stand out and people are going to be like, wow, you look so smart. I'm going to go get ready for this event now and then do my little review afterwards. I'm ready for the event. Let's go to the event and then I'll come back after I've finished and give you a quick rundown.
A few moments later.
Hello lovely people.
Me again.
I've just finished attending the alumni question time event. As per usual, one of the best events of the year. Such a wide range of people within the law who went to the same university as I did, talking about their careers and their paths to the careers, and just so interesting. Honestly, hands down, some of the most interesting people I've ever met. My tutor has given me the opportunity to sort of have a little like backstage interview with these guys. I'll go and do that now and include it for your viewing.
Part of studying from Edge Hill, I'm not saying this because he gives me free wine, but it was Adam Pendlebury. He tends to help out the students quite a lot. I know when I was studying back between 2009 and 2012, the Law Society wasn't as prominent as it is now, and it was really myself, Dan Radford, Joe Simpson, quite a few other key people as well, through the assistance of Adam Pendlebury, really got the society established and managed to push on to go to national competitions and mooting, and really just try and get a more collegiate environment for all the students, because that's what the Law Society is there to do, bring everyone together.
The people, the staff, I said earlier, the Law Society was probably one of the highlights, especially of my third year being at Edge Hill. Also just the general university, the campus is lovely, and it was definitely a big selling point to me when I was making my decisions about which university I wanted to go to. And the people I managed to meet through the various different alumni events and the Law Society was definitely a big thing.
I came at it from a slightly different angle than everybody else. I came to Edge Hill as a mature student, and the first thing that struck me was how supportive all of the lecturers were. and I found that the lecturer's enthusiasm for the subject was quite, effective, in that I would then get that enthusiasm for the subject, and I wanted to learn all about the subject. And then I realised how applicable the law was in everyday life as well. So it just became like a little bit of a bug, really. And then I think the lecturer's enthusiasm then fed into me, and I became enthusiastic about it as well.
So, as a student, I did attend all the events, the question times, although I don't think they were as organised or as formal as they are now. Obviously, we've got Dominic Walker chairing the majority now because he's excellent at it. It really helps with his day job, spilling over to this as well. Well, I should say it's not even his day job; it's his secondary job as being the announcer, isn't it? But he's certainly very good at chairing these panels and bringing people together. When I attended them, it was a little less informal, and we didn't get as many practitioners, but it's still very helpful because just like when we speak to students now, it's very important to get legal practitioners' opinions on things such as applications, and from junior members of the bar or solicitors firms all the way up to the top people in chambers or solicitors firms as well. So you need a broad spectrum just to really bounce ideas off, because you might be doing something terribly wrong in an application, and because so many places now get so many applications, they don't provide feedback. So it's almost like an informal setting for you to get feedback on potential application answers or things to do right or wrong.
Yeah, I attended, I think, pretty much every single one from my second year. They always fell on a date that I couldn't attend in my first year. But ever since I started attending, the difference between my second and third year was quite large. The attendance wasn't the same in second and third year. In second year, they were quite quiet. But you did get the chance of more of a sort of one-to-one in the drinks bit at the end. But what I will say is the people that you meet, and if you can network properly during these events, it's invaluable experience. I know, Chloe, when we were talking earlier, I was explaining how I'd met Nick and that he actually gave me some work experience, and I was able to sit in on a couple hearings in Manchester during my third year. And I definitely think if you can make the most of these events, not only will you get good advice in a Q&A kind of situation, but you will also get good networking opportunities, and you might even get work experience from it. I was also saying earlier that during my third year, it was actually my job to organise one of the events, the Women in Law event during my third year, which I think was a good turning point for the society, because we had an all-female panel of mostly alumni as well. And I really enjoyed that event, just being able to sort of highlight everything that Edgehill's been able to do for women in law as well.
Yeah, I did. I attended all of the talks. I think it's important to do that from a networking point of view, and also from a learning point of view. And I appreciate he's here on this call, but I will single him out, Nick Harrison, who helped me an awful lot, because Nick was in and out of the university, and I explained to Nick privately what I wanted to do. I work as a solicitor at JMW Solicitors, and I'd explained privately that I wanted to work at JMW. Nick was aware of that. So happened that Nick knew one or two of the partners at JMW, so Nick was able to sort of have a little conversation behind the scenes. But also, if you get to know somebody like Nick, or if a student gets to know another practitioner, it gives you the opportunity then to pick the brain. So I was then able to go back to Nick and say, look, Nick, I think one of the panelists said earlier on to do your research on the firm, and I was able then to, I knew the firm, I'd done my research, but you can really ask those probing questions to Nick. So Nick, what do you think about the firm? So I think, so yes, I did attend the events, but I think it's more than just attending the events. I think it's getting involved, and I think, as has just been said, is to get involved with the networking and get to know people.
Yeah, I think well, it's obviously really nice to hear those examples being given in such a positive light. I think because I've had the benefit of seeing sessions over the years and students going through the course of their undergraduate degree, that I've seen them get to the point of following through on advices, and when I've had the benefit of seeing them pursue their chosen path. It's really good to see. And if anything, it sort of, really gives me the confidence that what we're doing at the university is working. And so long may that continue.
Say to them is, as a student, I can't believe you're turning down the opportunity to get some free wine and go to the pub with some practitioners. But all that aside, especially for those who don't drink, because we have to remember the legal profession, we all joke about going to the pub, and that's where we do spend our time meeting new people and obviously building bonds. But it's not a drinking profession per se. You don't have to drink all the time. You can still make deep bonds with people, but it all starts at university, and you've already heard two fantastic examples from both ELEANOR and DOMINIC about how, albeit yes, Nick has come back out of his own volition to attend these events to help people, but you've got two perfect examples of that very answer in this question time with you. If you put the time in and come to these events, you could be, in 5 years' time, the success story that you have before you in terms of DOMINIC and Ellie.
My advice would be just to go. They might seem scary at first. Convince a friend who maybe doesn't study law to come with you, convince your partner to come with you, and if no one will come with you, maybe message the Law Society, tell them that you're coming, and then someone will keep an eye out for you. They're all friendly people and will sit with you if you need someone to sit with you. And I would just suggest going, because you don't know what experiences it will open up, or you might find that you didn't even realise was something you could learn about. I gave the example earlier of the policing event last year, that it's not personally anything I've studied, but it was interesting enough to me that I now want to go and do my dissertation on that subject. So I think even if you think you're not going to get anything out of it, you will. So just go.
Yeah, I think there's two ways you can go through university, isn't there? There's one, you can do all of your studying and get through and get an amazing grade. The other way that you can do it is to go through university, still get that amazing grade, but attend things. I think it's important in the legal profession when you're in practice to get to know people, to network. And what these events do, these question and answers, is they bring key people who you can get to know, who be the beginning of your network, if you like, your professional network, to you. So you could go out to the business networking events in Manchester, the legal networking events all over the place. But actually what we're doing is we're bringing a networking event to you. You can learn how to network. You can get to know people who may be useful to you. And then when you're in that training contract interview or the pupillage interview, so what have you done, I don't know, to get to know practitioners, or what have you done outside of the law? Well, I attended a law question and answer session and got to know name a person, and actually from that I managed to get a mini pupillage or a summer vacation scheme. So for those reasons, I think it's vital to attend this sort of event.
Yeah, I just say just go for it, go along, embrace it, and if several years down the line, when you've hopefully secured the sort of job that you want to do, you look back and these events will be part of your story.
From a lecturer's perspective as well, we do notice these things as well, who attends the actual events, and things like writing references at the end of your time here, or helping out with applications for back schemes, training contracts, etc., etc. It's important for us that you seem to sort of engage with these particular events. In particular, you get in, as a student, you get in a really great experience. You're learning from people who've been sat in the same seat as you a few years ago. In addition to that, we obviously bring in more experienced practitioners as well, like Nick and other barristers and solicitors who can pass on their own nuggets of information that, yes, you can read about all this on the web, but you don't really get those real life experiences without actually coming along to attend events like these. So as I always say to my PTs, and Ellie was one of my PTs, I would say make sure you come along to these events, because you don't really know what sort of doors they can actually open.
So as you can see, it's not just me telling you to network and that it's important. all those lovely legal professionals just told you for me. It's like anyone can do well in this degree. They put the effort in, but it's the extra effort that you put in, going the extra mile, which is so important. So I really hope you liked this video. It weren't just me talking at you, it was actually some really interested people talking to you for a change. Thank you so much for watching. Please like, comment and subscribe to my channel, and see you later. Bye.